Hi friends, Scott from Real Estate Japan here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about this 1R apartment in Suginami Ward, Tokyo. It is another 1R studio apartment. I apologize that a video from last week I kind of already went over studio apartments, but this one has some other interesting features and a location that I wanted to introduce and talk about. So let's get into the good stuff. So here's the listing. The link will be below if you want to take a look for yourself. And essentially the first things that popped out to me were that it's a 1R apartment, but it's priced at a level that's a little bit above what I would normally assume a 1R studio apartment would be priced at. We talked about this last week though. 1R apartments come in all sorts of layouts and sizes, and so it's not like there's a set in stone price range that a 1R apartment should be, but this was one thing that I looked at and I thought, okay, let's take a closer look and see what's going on here. So 1R, as we know, stands for one room or a studio apartment. I wasn't really sure what to expect. It seems like a really small building. And if we take a look at the layout, we see that it's just one room on the first floor and then a room on the second floor. And it looks like there's windows on all sides of this apartment. And it's a little bit larger than a standard 1R apartment. I would say an average 1R apartment is around 15 square meters. This is almost double that. So it's actually pretty spacious despite being a single room apartment. It has closets in this area that kind of add this separation. So it's almost like 1.5 rooms. I'm not quite sure how I'd utilize the space behind the closets back here, but having extra space is nice. The bathroom is separate toilet and bath, and there's a storage space here in this little hallway. I'm assuming it's this photo here because this is the closets in the room, and this is the only other photo that kind of makes sense. So it's this 1R studio apartment, but it has all these livability features that, I wouldn't expect in a standard studio apartment. The other thing is that there's so many places to hang your laundry here. I guess it's a really small thing. It's not that important, but it caught me off guard and I thought it was worth sharing because of how unique it seems to me in a studio apartment. If we take a look at the layout, we'll see that there are two spaces outside on the exterior of the apartment where you can hang laundry, one on the western side and one on the south side. And the places to hang your laundry look like these little steel arms that are hanging out of the exterior of the apartment. And then you have to buy like a pole that will hang between them, and then you can hang your laundry to dry outside. And then there's also an interior drying location in this entryway / storage space area. And that's what I'm assuming this photo is. It looks like it's cut off here, but there should be something hanging from the ceiling that you can place a pole through to hang your laundry on as well. So it's nice to have these different options for hanging your laundry, especially when you're on the first floor. Having the option to hang it inside without having to buy a special laundry rack or anything is nice to have in your apartment. Speaking of being on the first floor of an apartment, there are a lot of windows in this apartment, but depending on the kind of foot traffic that you can find nearby, it might be the case where you're actually just leaving the blinds closed or the shutters closed most of the time anyways. So just kind of getting a grasp of what's around the apartment and who has access to what from the ground level would be high on my list of priorities to check out if I went to a room viewing for this apartment. Overall, with the pictures provided by the agent, the apartment looks very clean, modern, bright, if you can leave the windows open, and spacious for a 1R studio apartment. And the only other thing that I could think of that I would personally be interested in about this apartment is the availability of bicycle parking. The apartment that I live in right now does not have designated bicycle parking, So I actually bring my bicycle inside in the entryway area, and it kind of just takes space up, and I wish I could just have a space outside for it. And the last thing that I want to mention about this apartment that you might have seen on some listings if you've been browsing our website is that this apartment is offered through the Gaijinpot housing service. So all the agents that list apartments on our website will be able to communicate with you in English and some in other languages, but apartments offered through the Gaijinpot housing service come with some extra bonus features that really help make the moving process a lot smoother. Utility setup assistance is a pretty nice one. Depending on your Japanese fluency, it could be nice to have the Gaijinpot housing service take care of all of that for you. So when you move in, all your utilities are set up and you're ready to go. If you need more information about the Gaijinpot housing service, go to the top of our website and click housing service, and you can read through all the details here and find out all the apartments on our website that are offered with this service. And moving on, I want to introduce the neighborhood the apartment is located in. This is kind of the stuff that I really like to talk about, all the different parts of Tokyo and what you can find in them, stuff like that. Everybody's going to have a little bit of a different take on all the neighborhoods of Tokyo. This is just my 2 cents on what you'll find in this neighborhood. So if we scroll down to the bottom of the listing and look at the map, we'll see that it's close to Higashi Koenji Station and also Nakano Station. If I zoom out a little bit, Nakano Station. This puts a wide variety of things to see and do nearby that don't necessarily mean you need to trek into downtown Tokyo. There's various facets to Nakano as a neighborhood. It can be pretty residential as you get away from the station, but close to the station, there's a very densely packed network of restaurants and bars and stores. This is great to walk around in if you like exploring these kinds of alleyways of Tokyo. Nakano Station is just west of Shinjuku. Takes about 5 minutes to get into Shinjuku Station using the Chuo line or the Chuo-sobu line. And there's a couple things that I just want to point out about this neighborhood. And one is that this shopping street that is straight out of the station back here is pretty popular. It does get pretty packed. It leads all the way down to a interesting shopping center called Nakano Broadway. And Nakano Broadway is pretty famous or infamous, depending on how you take a look at it, for being kind of a subculture hub. You can find lots of manga or anime related items here. There's vintage record stores, there's camera stores, and you can usually find some interesting things in the niche variety stores inside Nakano Broadway. And in the area around Nakano Broadway, all these small alleys and nooks are home to bars and restaurants and shops. So this apartment isn't located right in the midst of all these bars, and that's one thing that I thought is worth mentioning. It's all nearby, so all of this shopping and dining is nearby, but you're not located right in it. Another thing about the Nakano area that I can mention really quickly is that the Nakano Central Park area is pretty popular for picnics on nice days. So this is a shot of the open green space of the park, and I think this is during Hanami, cherry blossom viewing. I don't know if people are going to gather for that this year, but this is what it would have looked like. And the park has a lot of space for being an urban park next to a train station. It's definitely not as open as Yoyogi Park or Ueno Park. It's not the kind of park that you would jog through, but it's a nice spot to enjoy a relaxing day out on a picnic or just to stretch your legs. And one of the other stations within walking distance to this apartment is Higashi Koenji Station, which is located on the Marunouchi subway line. So you'll have a good option of different transportation lines to get into the city. So hopefully that will help keep your commute manageable and simple. The area around here is much more calm and residential compared to Nakano, where Nakano can get pretty busy and a little bit crowded at times. Here should be much more calmer, much more relaxed. So you'll have this different balance of neighborhoods close to you at this apartment. That's gonna do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed checking out this 1R studio apartment in Suginami Ward. I'm gonna link down below our area guide for Nakano and Suginami Ward, so you can check those out if you want a little bit more info on this neighborhood and where this apartment is located. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to write those in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And if you found the information in this video useful or interesting, please give the video a like or consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.